So let's assume that you've got a narcissistic parent and a non-narcissistic parent, right?
Okay.
Because some people have two narcissistic parents, and all I can say is that I promise there's a special corner of heaven for them. But more often than not, it's a narcissistic parent and a non-narcissistic parent. And this gets complicated because what many people will say is, I'm very aware of the suffering that my non-narcissistic parent did endure at times. They were humiliated, they were embarrassed, they were criticized. The real agony is a sense of abandonment that the child feels by that non-narcissistic parent, thinking like, you were the parent. It was your job to keep us safe. And for an adult in that situation, it becomes a very complex set of emotions. Whatever that case may be, sometimes people will say, I get why they didn't fight back, and I get that they were going through their own thing. And then there's often a sense of guilt at being angry at the non-narcissistic parent for not fighting harder for them. And then in a sense of anger for feeling abandoned by that person. So when you combine anger and guilt and empathy into a blender, it is one of the most difficult to swallow smoothies you are ever going to taste in your life. Here's one thing to always remember. Nobody walks away from a narcissistic parent unscathed. It's not possible. No matter what, if a person has had a narcissistic parent, it will negatively affect you. Now, in the extreme, obviously, it'd be things like complex trauma. Some people with narcissistic parent become narcissistic themselves. We might see things like addiction in response to that. The vast majority of people who had narcissistic parents develop significant anxiety, self-doubt, social anxiety, all the stuff that goes with that. Am I doing enough? Am I enough? That sort of thing, right? But we'll put that in the bucket of anxiety. It's almost like somebody saying, well, why didn't I know the answer to this exam question? I'm like, well, because it was never taught to you. So we're talking about a relatively recent phenomenon that people are understanding what this thing is. So how are you to know it? If every single person around you is telling you, forgive them, they didn't mean it, this is who they are, they didn't mean it when they said it. That's what everyone around you is saying. And then the narcissistic person themselves is saying, I never said that. You're crazy. There's something wrong with you. You make a big deal out of everything. You're too sensitive. If those are the two sets of voices coming at you, how the hell would you have known what this was?